It's not often a watch company with a very distinctive design style pivots, and that watch ends up being better in my opinion, but I can't help but be impressed with the direction Aviate has taken here, although I think the credit mostly goes to the Worn and Wound team who collaborated on this watch and no doubt had to wrestle with the impulses of the Aviate design team to create a more purposeful, simplified design in comparison to some of Aviate's normal releases that we see. Aviate, for anyone that is not familiar, is part of the Dartmouth brand, who among many other watch brands also make Spinnaker watches. And before we dive into this, they did very kindly send this into the channel. That's why you're seeing the little paid promotion sticker here at the top if you're watching this on YouTube. So today we are talking about the CVRT 3775A. Apparently this is pronounced as Covert 3775A, with I'm guessing the number being associated with the fact that this watch has a 37.75mm case. Unless the case is made to match the number, I'm sure we'll find out more about that in the marketing material, because this watch is released today, the 21st of November. Worn and Wound's brief for this watch, according to the press release, was to nail the balance between comfort, proportions and pure tool watch perfection, and I think they've executed that brief pretty well. But before we get to the watch, let's talk about the box or the container this watch comes in, because this is really cool. The watch is presented in what looks like a ration tin. It even has those little compression clips on the side. Inside you have room for 2 watches, and this one comes with an additional fabric strap. These are the fabric straps that we used to be allowed to call NATOs, but now we have to settle for more anemic names like double pass nylon strap or whatever they're calling this one. The watch also comes with spare spring bars for that strap and a spring bar tool. One thing I do find strange is the watch's fairly high quality integrated rubber strap is quick release, but the extra spring bars you get are not. You can get separate quick release spring bars, and it would have saved them from having to include this spring bar tool, so I'm not quite sure why they did that. Whilst we're talking about the integrated strap, it starts at 20mm and extends slightly over the lugs to 23.5, and then nicely, for anyone with smaller wrists, it tapers to just under 16. For anyone who finds that taper a little bit too aggressive, the nylon strap of course will bulk out the watch no problem, or just add your favorite 20mm strap. I personally think this would look really cool on a leather single pass strap, and here you can see it on my 7.2-inch wrist. The Covert watch comes in a 37.75mm diameter case, modest in comparison to other Aviate watches. It has a 46mm lug to lug and is 11mm thick, which makes it incredibly wearable for a wide range of wrists. The conical mid case keeps the watch from looking tall, and the angular brushed lugs help to make it feel very secure on the wrist. It has a knurled 2-piece bezel, although the bezel here itself doesn't have any function, it doesn't turn. The bezel also adds protection to the crystal, and it also offers an excellent frame to accentuate the inner bezel. You could argue the inner bezel captures the light a little too much for a tactical watch, but as the only covert missions I ever go on are hiding the multiple watch straps I order online from my wife, I think I can live with that. The case it also has a hardness coating on it. Now, they don't specifically call out what that hardness coating is, but usually it's like a clear DLC coating, but they don't specifically call that out in the press release that I received with this watch. The crown is here at 4 o'clock, and the watch features a flat sapphire crystal with AR coating. The watch with its brushed case and then the DLC coated outer bezel is designed to take everyday knocks, and it has 100 meters water resistance. The crown itself is not screw down, however, and this is in keeping with other field watches of a similar style. The crown for me is nicely finished, although if you do have larger fingers, you may find that if you're wanting to manually wind it, it is pretty tight in there close to the case. What you'll likely have to do if you do want to manually wind it is take the watch off and do it. The crown, however, ends up being a great design choice for when you're setting the watch, because it has that grip very close to the edge, which means you can get very precise with setting the time. And the watch is automatic, so you could argue that you probably would never need to manually wind it. Although if you are a chronic crown fidgeter like I am and like to give your watches a few turns every day, you might be interacting with that crown a little more than usual. The dial is all about legibility, and there's no argument that they've also nailed that element. The watch keeps things tactical with a matte black finish to cut reflections, raised C3 superluminova numerals, and clearly tapered hands you can read in an instant. The hands are brushed, understandably for a field watch, but brushed hands to me never feel premium for some reason. I do have to heap praise on the fact that the minute hand goes all the way beyond the indices to the raised outer minute track. 10 out of 10 for that. The lume shot is not half bad either. I've charged the watch here for about 2 minutes underneath a UV torch, and this is how it's fared over 15 minutes. Of course, I've sped this up for dramatic effect. The lume looks like they've used globalite or another material to make it 3D as opposed to painting it on, but they don't list this anywhere. They just state that it's a raised C3 superluminova, so who knows, hopefully we'll find a little bit more out about the material they've used there on the release. Inside is the Miyota 9015, a slim, high precision automatic movement running at 28,800 vibrations per hour with a 24 joule hacking and hand winding and quick set date movement with a 42-hour power reserve. It's all sealed behind a solid stainless steel case back, so we can't see it. It's no secret I will take a Miyota movement any day over the Seiko equivalent, Seiko mid to low range mechanical movements, so I'm very happy they went this direction using the Miyota, and the 9000 series is one of the top ones that they do in that range. Then watch is priced around $450 US. For everything you get, I think that's a pretty good deal. So for launching this upload, the watch is now available. You can get it on the Wind Up Watch Shop, which is windupwatchshop.com, or you can also get it direct on the Aviate website, which is aviate.com. You heard my opinion, and as always, your opinion matters just as much, so let me know what you think in the comments section down below. Do you like this new direction that Aviate is taking? Let me know. If you're new to the channel, I would love it if you hit that subscribe and hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed this upload, and I'll see you next time on Casual Watch Reviews. Thanks guys, bye.